Hello friends, welcome back to another video. Today we are setting up my May bullet journal spreads. If you're new here, my name is Nola and on my channel I have lots of journaling and planning content. I try to make it nice and cozy, relaxing and quite casual, so if that is something that you are interested in, feel free to subscribe so that you can catch up on my other videos after this one. Anybody who is returning, thank you so much. I really appreciate anybody coming back to watch my videos again. It really means the world to me. Anyway, getting into today's video, what you're seeing here is a replay basically of a live stream that I did for my patrons. So what I do is I set up my bullet journal for the month live with them and we can chat, and they are able to have conversations in the chat box with me. It's a private YouTube live stream. So I get to talk through kind of what I'm doing, what decisions I'm making, and how I want to plan to set things up or why I'm doing certain things. So you get to see the real-time version of what I'm doing here on the screen, whereas what you're seeing today is a kind of pared back version of it with all of the kind of decision making, or most of it anyway, kind of chopped out all of the kind of in-between bits. So if you are somebody who would like to see the whole process, start to finish, with all of the bits in between where I am finding it hard to choose between certain things, or making decisions and asking questions to my patrons about what to do, then you can check that out on my Patreon. I'll have that linked below. So today I decided that it would be more of a kind of thrown together spread, as in I was going to use kind of a bunch of different things from my my stash. So for the past little while, the last few months, I've been using kind of solely my printables that I make for my Patreon, and things have kind of changed a little bit in the way that I do them, and I decided this month that I would kind of just go back to my roots and use what I have and just feel it out as I did it. And it was really nice to get back to kind of just mix matching things and seeing what worked together, and using kind of other bits of stickers and stuff in my stash. I do get to use all of my other stuff in my weekly spreads and other journaling spreads, but it was nice to kind of go back to doing that for my monthly ones too. This month I have, as you can just see there, I have basically replicated the spread that I did last month and the month before. I've been finding this quite a good layout for me now. I used to not do the kind of like running calendar, or like the vertical calendar, because I tested out doing calendars in the kind of square format before, and I found I just didn't really use them all that much. But I kept finding that I felt like I was missing having something that showed me what I was doing in the month. So I decided to try this running list of vertical calendars. And I found it much better for me, because really the main reason that I needed that was for any random sort of events or things that were happening, where I could just see at a glance what's going on in my month and where I have free time, or where I need to make sure that I'm not like doubling up on stuff. So for me, this way works so much better, because I felt like with the bigger kind of double page spread calendars, it ended up just being a waste for me, because I just didn't use them all that much, and it felt wasteful. So whenever I kind of came up with this idea for this one, I realized quite quickly that it is quite beneficial for me. So this is my third month doing it, and it's been very handy. And you'll see on the left hand side of that as well, there's the boxes that I tend to do every month now at the minute too. This is something that I have added, or have had basically in some capacity, for a very long time. I always have a section where I track my statistics for my business, so things like social media and sales and that kind of thing. And then I always have 3 main goals for the month, and I have had that in my journal setups for a very long time, but in this way I sort of have them stacked up on top of one another, and it's nice to be able to kind of know exactly where each section is, and I still use them quite a lot. So those are really, really handy to do. And I actually have a little bit of a change in them now, because previously I would track Etsy, Instagram and YouTube. And now I actually don't, well, I still have an Etsy, I just have it on holiday mode right now because I opened up my own website. So I built my own website and opened up a shop there. So that's kind of where I've been putting my focus now. So now I have Shopify, Instagram, YouTube, and then an extra one that's been added is Patreon. So because I've had Patreon since December, I decided it would be nice to try to track that as well, just to see the progress. Numbers aren't everything, but as a business, it's important for me to know if what I'm doing is working or not, because it's the only sustainable way for me to know whether or not my business is going to be successful in terms of staying up and running. And it's also nice to kind of look back on too, because there are times where I maybe feel like I've not done enough, or I felt like I've not done as well as I'd hoped. But actually then when I look back on the numbers, it's like a real visual reminder for me of just how much work I've put in and how far I've come, being able to look month to month and seeing those numbers change and grow. And it kind of brings me back down to earth a bit, because I think sometimes it can be very easy to get sucked into the numbers, and sometimes it's a bit more of a vanity metric than anything, because the engagement and the value that I'm giving to people is the most important part. So being able to look at those numbers and really truly think about what actually matters, it kind of helps me kind of not overthink it so much, and still enjoy the process of growing as a business without it being overwhelming at the same time. So you're seeing me kind of set up that section now here, and I've used a mixture of things here. So I've got washi tape that I got from Olive and Mabel. There's a little kind of small washi sticker at the top as well that is from by Amy. And then the May kind of calligraphy style sticker that I used is my bestie's handwriting, Sandra from Camonia Designs. She wrote out the months of the year and the days of the week in her calligraphy digitally, because I created her a kind of personalized brand color bullet journal sticker kit. So she did that, and she kindly let me use the months and the weeks in my own colours too. So those aren't available for me to sell or anything. Those are just something that she let me use, which is very nice of her, because they're super pretty. And then the social media type stickers that you saw me sticking in there, the square ones, those are ones that I've made and do sell on my shop as well. The pink sticker sheet sitting on my journal at the minute is by Swirly Nicks, and I've used her little crystals. I just kind of wanted some way to kind of note the goals sections, so that I knew there was like 1, 2 and 3 without just writing 1, 2 and 3. I wanted to make it a little bit more interesting, so I cut my circle stickers in half. So the circle ones are ones of my own. So I cut those in half, and then I stuck the little gemstone things on top, and I thought that was a nice little touch. So yeah, I've sort of turned my functionality part of my monthly spread into this 1-page thing. But because I am a sucker for decorative and collage type journaling, I have kept to having my nice decorative section on the right hand side, and I still do that. So it's been really nice to be able to kind of continue that and still have that creative and fun aspect to it, because that's the part of journaling that I love the most. It's amazing to have the opportunity to make it functional and fun. So I always love to keep that creative side of it, because for me journaling is all about both self-expression and functionality and having fun with it, taking time to do an activity that is quite mindful, relaxing for your brain, and if in turn it means then you feel a little bit more organised, then that's just a bonus to me. And that's kind of why I really got into doing this as a business, because journaling for me is something that I've found to be an activity that I can do that helps really relax me. So I just kind of wanted to share that with people, and that's kind of how Lacuna came to be. And the fact that I can do it and also have a way for me to track my week, plan my stuff, and feel more organised is it's great that I can do both. There are times where I still just journal for fun. I have lots of other kind of journaling things that I do, like memory journaling, and I have just started a commonplace book. So there are other kind of journaling things that I do that are solely for the purposes of being creative. But I still love that I can do a bit of both in my bullet journal as well. So as you can see, I've been playing about here with layering. It's kind of the key thing that I start off with whenever I'm doing my kind of decorative side of my cover pages. So I tend to find different patterned papers, maybe like old books where I can use like the pages from it, and other kind of craft papers. I even have my own kind of pattern papers that I've created myself, and like I can use tear outs from magazines, old magazines and things. So I love to kind of create a base layer where I have a few layers of different kind of papery type things to kind of anchor the page. And then once I have settled on those kind of elements, I can start to add in the other little touches, whether that's stickers or washi tape. A lot of the time I'll add some washi tape into. And yeah, really the key for me is layering things, and I just play about until I feel like I've come to the point where I'm happy with it. And this can kind of be time consuming because I'm very indecisive, and that's what you won't see in this video because I've been able to cut out all of those bits and pieces. But I decided on for this one using a sticker by it's Luna Lou, and I am actually not sure if Krista still has her shop open or not. She's been very busy working away in the gaming industry, as far as I remember. That's still currently what she's doing. She always streamed and stuff on Twitch and did art and games and things, but I'm not sure if her shop's still open. I'll have to check, and even if it's not, I'll still link her Instagram below anyway. But the little witchy sticker was by Krista from It's Luna Lou, which is super pretty, and I've been wanting to use the sticker forever, and I just could never find a theme that it kind of matched with whenever I was working with it. So whenever I started doing these kind of greens and creams and pinks, I was like, this is perfect. This is the perfect opportunity to use this sticker. So it worked out great. On top of that, I kind of looked through my stash of ephemera and stickers and try to find these little extra bits that I can kind of fill out the page with. So here you can see I've got these little circles that have different patterns and paper bits in them, so they kind of added a nice extra touch to the page as well. If I feel like I'm missing something, sometimes I bring out my markers and pens and add little sparkles and doodles. But for this one, I figured that the thing that was missing was this little corner piece. It just felt like that side of the page was quite empty. I'm sure it would have been fine if I left it, but it just didn't feel quite right. So I ended up deciding to put in this sticker of mine where I have the little book and the coffee and the little reading glasses. I've been putting a lot more effort into setting aside time for me to read more recently. I've been doing a lot better, and I'm on my second book of the month, and I'm more than halfway through it, so I am very confident that I'm going to finish it. I had hoped to get 3 this month because I only did 1 last month, and my goal is 2 a month. But I've been doing much better, and it's been really nice to be able to kind of make the time to do it again. So it's been great to kind of add little touches into my journals to kind of remind myself of that. Even in the last month's journal, you see I had like my reading journal challenge, because although I have a reading journal separate to my bullet journal, I'm in my bullet journal a whole lot more often, and I tend to be looking at it at least daily, sometimes every other day. So it's nice to have that reminder in my bullet journal, because then I see it and it kind of reminds me to pick back up on reading if it's been a few days. So basically what you're seeing here is the final result. I loved setting this up. It was really fun to do it live with my Patreons, and I can't wait to do more. So if that's something you're interested in, like I say, I will have my Patreon linked below. Equally, you can just watch these shorter versions on YouTube. I have lots of other videos like weekly setup spreads. I do journaling vlogs and reading journal videos. So if any of those kind of things sound like something you would watch, please check out my channel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.